Deb, it was a big weekend for music. And I know, as the music authority on the Deb and Kev podcast, you have all the latest and greatest that you want to talk about both Donda and Certified Lover Boy dropping. Hit us with it real quick.
Okay. So Donda is Kanye.
That's right.
Okay.
That's absolutely right. That's 1 for 1.
Okay. And Donda supposedly has songs about affairs he's had on Kim.
Well, it addresses a lot of things. It's his 10th studio album, which you know.
Right, of course. I do know that.
And
yes.
That's the name of his deceased mother.
Oh, Donda is.
Donda is the name of...
She died having plastic surgery.
Surgery.
That's sad.
Very sad. He addresses a lot of stuff on Donda, which I know you've listened to multiple times through. What's your favorite track on Donda, would you say?
2.
Track 2?
Track
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
2.
So yeah, Kanye addresses a lot of things on Donda, which we can get into. And then what are your first thoughts on Certified Lover Boy? Do you know who dropped that, by the way?
I have no idea who Certified Lover Boy is. That the name of the person?
The name of the album.
Okay, so first of all, I don't know that I would buy anything that was called Certified Lover Boy.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough.
And second of all, I'm picturing some young rapper, maybe?
Yep.
Okay, like who is just even too young to know what a Certified Lover Boy would truly be.
Well, you're right that it's a rapper. You're wrong that he's young and wouldn't know what a Certified Lover Boy would be. It's Drake's 6th studio album that dropped.
Yeah, Drake. Well, I mean, Drake, may or may not, depending on who you talk to, be a Certified Lover Boy, right?
What I love about our podcast is when we tackle topics that in no way has our audience ever asked for or wanted. And so let's do just a quick dive into Kanye versus Drake, Donda versus Certified Lover Boy.
Okay, let's do it.
And clearly we know Deb knows a little bit more about Kanye than she does Drake.
Only because something on Instagram popped in.
Oh, what happened on Instagram?
Told me.
Deb follows a lot of rap magazines like Complex and XXL and all this kind of stuff.
This was just an ad.
Oh, okay.
That told me about Donda. That told me about Donda.
Okay.
And I didn't know. It didn't tell me it was named after his mother. I should have known that, of course.
For sure.
But then it went on to say that, maybe it was a repentant album of sorts. Maybe not. Maybe they're getting back together. Maybe not. Like, I think he might currently have a girlfriend. Maybe not. It all sounded very, I don't know, very complicated and very messy to me.
Well, I think a lot of the complications come from Kanye West just existing.
Yes, I would agree with that.
He has many, many layers to him, and he occupies all corners of the world with, I don't want to say crazy, because I don't think that somebody who's a billionaire can be crazy, but eccentricities.
There could be crazy billionaires.
I'd like to think that he's more eccentric than anything.
Well, here's what I want to say. If the person was poor and you call them crazy, then if they're a billionaire, we also call them crazy.
Okay.
We're not going to refer to them, give them eccentric if they're in fact crazy.
So the backstory to all of this is obviously these are two huge names in the music verse, right? Regardless of whether you listen to rap or not, even Joe Schmo on the street, who's a big Jimmy Buffett fan, knows who Kanye West and who Drake are. They've heard of them in some capacity.
Well, we'd hope.
I would be floored if somebody had not heard of them.
But I don't know that I know either one of their music if I heard it.
Yes, you would.
Would I?
1,000%.
Like, name
I would love nothing more than to play music on this and then have us get banned from ever podcasting again.
Name one of Kanye's songs that you think I would know for sure.
Gold Digger?
Can you hum it?
I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke. I ain't saying she a gold digger, and she ain't messing with no broke. There's a word at the end that I'm definitely never going to say.
Okay.
How about the song Black Gentleman in Paris?
Sure.
See, you know that song.
No, I don't. Is that from Drake?
No, that would be from Kanye and Jay-Z, who I know you're also a very big fan of.
Well, actually, I have one song from Jay-Z on my playlist.
You do.
So
My God, you want to talk about songs that Deb just never stops playing.
One song.
Now you're in New York.
But
Every
he had
time
to
I get
bring
into the car.
Alicia Keys in on it for me to listen to him.
Drake's song started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Okay, from the bottom.
Started from the bottom. Now
God,
my whole
Kevin,
team here.
Sounds like our podcast.
Yeah. Started from the bottom and we're hanging out. Yeah. Started from the bottom and we're still here.
All right. There you go. That should be our theme music.
But here's why everybody was really interested, not just because they're great musicians and they release great music and everybody's going to play it 1,000 times over, but they had some serious beef leading up to their releases. And Deb, you remember the beef of Tupac and Biggie. It was
very, very intense.
It was intense for you and I.
Yes.
It was intense for a young Kev, and it was intense for a music Lothario like yourself.
Mother trying to protect her young child.
Yes, absolutely.
From the drama that was Tupac and Biggie.
And I know that you were very scared that I was going to have a negative consequence of having both gentlemen deceased during my adolescence. Fortunately, Kanye West and Drake lived to see the releases of Donda and Certified Lover Boy. Okay?
So tell me about the beef.
So here's the beef. Back in July, apparently they were good.
Are these like friends, like they hang out, or are they just like...
Great questions, Deborah.
You know, like they both know each other because of the music business.
Kanye has alluded to the fact that Drake lives close to Kim Kardashian, Kanye's soon-to-be ex-wife.
Okay.
And has made jokes about Drake having slept with every single one of her friends.
Okay.
There have been rumors that Drake himself has at one point slept with Kim Kardashian.
Okay.
None of this has been substantiated. It's
Rumors.
just kind of guys talking on the internet. And again, you don't know if Kanye is just drumming up interest in whatever he's trying to hawk in that moment.
And again, does this occur to anybody that we're just treating women like chattel a little bit for our conversation?
I mean, I think that might be a lot of people's issue with rap in general.
Okay, there we go.
So back in July, apparently everything was good. People were saying that actually Kanye was going to have a song on Drake's new album, which was supposed to come out in January, but did not come out until September 3rd.
Yeah. Is that because he was on his meds then?
I just think everybody thought they were okay.
Oh, okay.
I think what happened is Kanye realized he probably hadn't been as successful with recent album releases, and he needed to drum up some interest, a page taken from his own playbook about 5 or 6 years ago when he went up against 50 Cent's release date as well, and Kanye crushed him, okay? So then all of a sudden, we get towards the latter end of July, and I know you're a big friend of rapper-producer Consequence, right?
Oh my gosh, the best.
And he started tweeting out, wondering when Drake's release was going to be. And Consequence works with Kanye. He's one of his collaborators. And so everybody thought that was kind of weird. Like, why does Kanye care about Drake's release date?
Do you think their people get together so that they
I think
stomp
this
on
is
each other?
nothing more than a finely tuned PR machine that's happening right now.
Okay.
Then at the very end of July, Drake sends a warning text to anyone in the way of his album. He says, album's cooked, which means it's finished.
Yeah.
Certified Lover Boy on the way, and that's for anyone in the way.
Ooh.
Meaning he's going to drop it regardless of anybody else, right?
So like, to heck with all of you.
Exactly. August 5th, Kanye adds lyrics to one of the tracks in Donda and says, move out of the way of my release.
Oh, he makes that part of the song.
Yes. Now, one of the things that was happening,
track 2.
yeah, it's definitely as Deb's favorite track, it was track 2 that he added, "Move Out of the Way of My Release."
There we go.
Now, one of the weird things that was happening while all this kind of online beef was going on was Kanye was having listening parties in football stadiums. He sold out the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta for like 5 listening parties.
To literally just go listen?
Well, he would do, what is it called when an artist does actual, like they're out in the community. It's not painting, but it's the type of art. You got to help me. You can't stare at me blankly like this.
Oh, like
not interpretive art, but
I know what you're talking about, but I can't think.
But
of
it's
it.
real. They're out there, right? And he literally never left the stadium. He had a cot in like a back room that he slept in. He would record in, and they would do all the mixing there. And then the next Saturday, when the stadium was full for people to listen, he would go What is the word?
Was he there?
He was there.
Interpretive art?
Not interpretive art. I just said that.
Oh, okay. It sounded good. We'll think of it.
It's live action art.
No,
life
it's not.
art.
No, those are not the words.
But anyways, he would
it.
perform the tracks. Sometimes he would just listen with the tracks. He wore bulletproof vests, sometimes with Donda on the back. He wore ski masks. Sometimes he wore ski mask with Swarovski crystals all over him. Like, it was a big to-do, but it was only people there just to listen.
So it was kind of like a concert, but he wasn't actually doing anything.
Right.
Okay.
And so then while this beef is happening with Drake, he goes from Atlanta, he goes to Chicago, he starts putting on these exact same listening parties, and then he starts inviting super duper controversial rappers and musicians to just literally come hang out in the middle of a stadium. Like, he invited DaBaby, which I know you're a big fan of DaBaby, but you're not a big fan of the DaBaby because he's been canceled a dozen times because of all of his homophobic rants. And then he invited Marilyn Manson.
And no. We know all about Marilyn Manson.
Also been canceled
very
for
many
propriety of things.
Yes.
So he's just conjuring up all of this attention, right?
So he's really just like a child misbehaving for attention.
But is he misbehaving, or is he just inviting a massive spotlight on something he desperately wants, which is people to buy his album?
So here's one of the things we say about crazy.
Okay.
Right?
I don't like the hard C word, Deborah. I don't like it.
Okay, so but we're not going to use like eclectic or some other
I think eccentric is the right word.
Here's one of the things we're going to say about
Donda, Kanye.
Here's the deal.
Marilyn Manson.
Even that has
DaBaby.
genius at moments.
Sure.
There are moments of genius that shine through. No question. And so I really have a trouble I don't care if it's for the almighty dollar or for what, that we completely lay down all of our values to get my album ahead of Drake's album.
That's assuming that your values, Kanye's values, line up with your values.
And maybe Kanye's values don't line up with my values, but that is like ridiculous.
Let me expedite the beef. August 8th,
Kanye
members of
mother.
Drake and Kanye's camp exchange words on Instagram, hashtag see us outside.
Ooh.
That's aggressive. August 21st,
Is
Drake.
that like that girl? Remember
Definitely nothing like that girl.
Okay.
August 21st, Drake sends shots at Kanye on Trippie Redd's album Betrayal, where Kanye says, all these fools I'm beefing that I barely know, 45, 44, burned out, let it go. Ye ain't changing S for me. It's set in stone.
Is he talking about guns when he says 44? What is he talking
45, 44, burned out, let it go. I think he's referring to Kanye West's age.
Oh, okay.
And then he says his release date, again, is his release date, and he's not moving it regardless of what Kanye wants.
Actually said what the release date is? Do we know the date?
We don't know this, but then August 21st.
So we're fighting over dates we don't even know?
Deb, you got to let me finish the timeline.
Okay, all right.
Consequence responds to Betrayal lyrics, the lyrics above that I just read, by saying, respect my team, it's party time. And I love that. It's always party time. Again, August 21st, this is my favorite part. This is my favorite part of the entire beef. Kanye, like every normal person in the world, is part of a group chat.
Yeah.
Now, his group chat is different than yours and I's group chat because it's a bunch of other $1 million rappers. Kanye hits up the group chat, you will never recover, with a picture of Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
Okay.
Then he adds into the group chat with other rappers Pusha T, which I know you're a big fan of Pusha T, the rapper.
I am.
And he had beef with Kanye. He had beef with Drake. He's the one that essentially put Drake on blast by saying, you have an illegitimate kid that you're not taking care of.
Oh, is that true?
Yes, has been certified, not lover boy, but certified that he did have a kid that he is now part of his life. But Drake was in this group chat.
Okay.
So he adds Pusha T to the group chat, somebody who Drake does not like, and then is also simultaneously calling Drake a clown.
Yeah.
Because of the Joker reference, right?
Yeah.
August 23rd, Kanye posts and deletes Drake's address, and Drake laughs. And then finally, it's confirmed on late August that September 3rd will be the release date for both Donda and both Certified Lover Boy. Deb, now that you are fully abreast of all things Kanye, Drake, Donda, Certified Lover Boy, rap beefs, nobody's dead, what side do you come down on?
I think I'm going to have to vote for Joaquin Phoenix.
Vote for Joaquin Phoenix.
I just hope that he got some money because they used his Joker.
I just think they took an image off of Google Images and threw it into a text message. But you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen, in the beef with Kanye West and Drake. Joaquin Phoenix is the winner. Let's start the podcast.
Welcome to the Deb and Kev podcast. One is a Harvard Business School alum. The other is her son, discussing business, pop culture, family, and everything in between. Now, here are your hosts, Deb and Kev.
Hey, hi, hello, and welcome to the Deb and Kev podcast. Sitting with me is the hardest working woman in the podcast game, and that means we're also going to honor her on this Labor Day. It's my mom, Deb.
I'm Deb.
And I thought we already celebrated Labor Day this year. I just call it Mother's Day. I'm her son, Kev, and this is our podcast. On today's show, it's part 3 of Deb's 5-part series on how to manage yourself in the workplace. And today, she's going to sit us down and have a firm but fair conversation about discussing our fears and anxieties in the workplace. Plus, we will then usher on to what is quickly becoming my new favorite segment, where no one knows what Deb is going to bring to the table in what we call Good Job Internet. And like a Chipotle burrito, we'll wrap this whole thing up and tell you what we are thankful for and what's for dinner. But first, I have 2 questions for you.
Okay, go.
The first one is, you have been medicating your throat with CBD oil, and we have understood that we can reach a tipping point where if you ingest too much of it, Deb gets quote unquote lightheaded. How are you feeling right now?
Right now, I'm good. It's not a permanent fix, obviously, but does my voice sound okay?
It sounds wonderful, and I constantly criticize you because of your voice. Thus far, the edits all belong to me on this podcast.
Yeah, because I'm using it as a soothing oil for my throat.
Oh, yeah.
I'm probably not measuring.
For sure not.
Just like,
Here's what I know.
A little lightheaded.
You used to use the spray, and you would spray 50 sprays to the point where you said, I'm pretty sure this is eating away at my esophagus. Mind you, half the time she only hit her teeth when she was spraying it. Then you bought this CBD liquid dispenser,
yeah,
and you put it in for one of the episodes, and I don't think we had a single edit on it. It was wonderful. And you said, hey, I got this new product. It's CBD. Then we were doing another podcast and you had a bit of the coughs and you kept doing CBD. And afterwards you said, oh, I have to stop doing this. I am lightheaded. And I think anybody else would say, ooh, maybe Deb finished a podcast a little high in the sky.
You can't get high on CBD.
Oh, true. But there might be a little bit of THC left in there.
So I bought this.
Okay.
And then I was
You did not steal it. Confirmed, did not steal this.
Purchased it on the internet.
Okay. Silk Road.
One
legal or not, who knows?
A good thing I found on the internet. So it came and then somehow Dad grabbed it. So this is like the oral drops.
Yeah.
But it's an oil, right? Dad hands it back to me and says, this doesn't work.
What was he using it for?
He was rubbing it on his back.
Oh.
So
a package arrived and Dad said, this might be something I can just put on my body.
So the funny part about it is this is actually called Afterglow.
Sounds like it goes on your face, not in your body.
I don't know. I'm putting it in my body. Dad put it on his back. It didn't seem to work for Dad. It helps a little bit with my throat. I'm happy.
I mean, that's all you can really ask for is even if it's a placebo, at least you think it's helping. Yeah. But I just wanted to address that just in case this podcast goes off the rails. We'll know it's because Deb has been ingesting way too much cannabis extract. Yeah. My second question to you.
Yes.
It is now officially September.
Oh, I love September.
It is technically the fall. But prior to September happening, every single brand has already started to celebrate the fall with the release of whatever form of pumpkin spice they can offer.
Yep.
Do you hate that as much as I do?
Okay, so here's the thing about pumpkin spice. Some of this stuff doesn't smell anything like a pumpkin. I mean, so that kind of bothers me.
I mean, it just smells like pumpkin spice. Whatever we have now interpreted pumpkin spice to smell like, that's what it smells like. I don't even know that I could pick the scent of a pumpkin out.
So it's whatever that spice is. I mean,
right. Nutmeg, allspice, and cinnamon.
Yeah, just throw all that in water on the stove and it'll smell like pumpkin spice. I just don't know. I don't wait for I've never had a pumpkin spice latte in my life.
Yep.
Wouldn't order it. I mean, that's like way too flavor infused for me in my coffee. Though I had the privilege recently of being at the Hershey Spa in Pennsylvania.
Yum.
Not a joke. Palatial, fabulous, old world, like one of the best experiences I've ever had. And the gal said when she was getting ready to do a massage, she said, "Would you like our signature flavor?" And I said, "What is that?" And she said chocolate. That sounded terrible to me.
Fair.
And I love chocolate. But then she went through the other things and she said, "We have an autumn spice," I think is what she said.
Yum.
And I said, "Could I smell that?" It was lovely. I don't think it had pumpkin on it. And it felt great. So I don't know. So I guess sometimes I do, under certain circumstances, subscribe to, I'm going to say, an autumn spice.
I love fall as well. I love autumn. I love the changing of the seasons. I love being able to put on a sweatshirt in the morning and in the evening and having a t-shirt on during the day. I love the leaves falling from the trees, and I love the idea that we are finally getting away from 110 degrees of oppressive heat. I just wish brands weren't so eager to shove it down our throat. If everybody agreed on September 1st that all things pumpkin spice could come to us, I'll sign that contract every single day. But when you start giving it to me in the middle of August, when it's still 100 degrees outside and everybody's like standing in front of their air conditioning because it's 100 degrees outside, that is not the vibe I'm going for when drinking anything or eating anything pumpkin spice related. Now, let me play this game with you.
Okay.
You just said you're not a huge pumpkin spice person.
Right.
You don't have an affinity for it like a bunch of other basic white people.
Well, I'm trying to think. I could buy a candle.
But this is the game we're going to play. Would you eat it?
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Would you drink it?
Okay.
Pumpkin spice Jell-O.
No.
Okay. Pumpkin spiced almond milk creamer.
Oh, absolutely not.
Pumpkin spiced flavored caramel syrup.
Maybe.
Okay. Pumpkin spiced Pillsbury Grand Rolls.
No.
Nope. Talenti pumpkin spice gelato layers.
No.
How about...
But it is Talenti. You're trying to really tempt me.
How about Thomas's pumpkin spice English muffins?
Oh, God, no.
How about pumpkin spiced cotton candy?
No.
How about whole Greek yogurt with pumpkin spice jelly?
No.
This is a good one. How would you eat Flips covered pretzels with pumpkin spice frosting?
No.
Pumpkin spice cheesecake soft baked cookies from Pepperidge Farms?
No, but I might eat a real pumpkin spice cheesecake.
Oh, yum. How about pumpkin spice flavored Swiss Miss hot chocolate?
That sounds terrible.
Thomas's swirl pumpkin spice bread?
Nope.
Really? You wouldn't eat any of this stuff?
I don't think I would.
How about Pop-Tarts pumpkin pie filling?
Pop-Tarts pumpkin pie filling. A good toasted Pop-Tart is something.
Yo, that is, I'm not even kidding you. The difference between generations is the fact that you would toast your Pop-Tart. There was nobody born after the 80s who would toast their Pop-Tart.
Eat a raw Pop-Tart?
Every single person I know.
Wait. Stop
Deb,
a minute.
This is
a topic in
This
itself.
is a line in the sand.
This is wrong.
I will never
No.
put a Pop-Tart in the toaster.
What?
Ever.
Are they made? I mean, you can put... Wait. Do the instructions say that you could still toast them? Is that a recommended thing?
It says toaster pastries.
Okay.
It's in a convection
Kevin,
oven.
There you go.
Never.
No.
Listen, you can do a lot of things
Yes.
and then you still shouldn't do them.
No. You're eating a raw Pop-Tart.
That's
and
crazy.
It's cold.
Absolutely.
Raw and cold.
1,000%.
So here's how it used to be. It used to come in a little, I'm going to say, package that was not tinfoil or anything, but
Same thing. Totally same thing.
So this is what would happen because it's so hot coming out of the toaster. My mom would carefully cut the top off, throw the Pop-Tart in her hand, put it in the toaster, pop it up, and then pop it right back in to the sleeve of the package so I could hold it and eat it and not burn my little fingers.
Or you just don't toast it.
Toast it. It's like, this isn't cookie dough. This is like raw. No, this is not true. Please, if there are people Kevin's age or younger,
all of you
tell
agree with
me
me.
Toast it.
Please go oppress Deb, shame Deb by saying
don't.
what person toasts their Pop-Tarts.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
a couple more products. Jet puffed marshmallow pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice marshmallows.
So then I'm going to put that in hot chocolate or I'm going to make a Rice Krispie treat out of it.
Oh, we found something Deb likes.
That might be okay. I might be able to get behind that.
Pumpkin pie Kit Kat bars.
No, God, no.
Pumpkin spiced almonds.
Didn't we have something like that?
Pumpkin spice almonds?
Well, I don't know if it was pumpkin spice, but it was like a spice almond, a coating on it, like a little frosting.
I know we've had those flavored almonds, but I've never had something that would have been less.
You said there's too much sugar in it. Remember those?
Definitely would have been pumpkin spice, not have been pumpkin spice.
Those were kind of okay, but here's the thing. They were super, super sweet.
Pumpkin spice Cheerios?
I might be able to do that.
Pumpkin salsa?
Oh, absolutely not.
How about pumpkin flavored oatmeal?
Yeah, possibly. That gets you into the whole maple kind of genre.
Pumpkin spice peanut butter?
No.
And I think this last one I already know the answer to, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Okay. Pumpkin spiced Bud Light hard seltzer.
Wow. So, pumpkin spiced Bud Light. Is it gluten-free?
Hard seltzer.
Yeah, hard seltzer.
Yeah, it's gluten-free.
I would try it. I would take a drink of it because I like hard cider kind of things.
This is hard seltzer.
Oh, is that vodka?
Vodka soda. So vodka soda made by Bud Light that's pumpkin spice flavored.
I would try a hard cider. I'm not being offered one of those, am I?
You know what I would eat? Spaghetti and meatballs. I would eat spaghetti and meatballs. I would. God. I know we're talking about pumpkin stuff, but I would love a great Béarnaise sauce.
Okay, so if cider is not an option.
The hard seltzer.
Hard seltzer. I've never had a hard seltzer.
It's just a vodka soda.
Oh, is that all it is? No, I don't think I want pumpkin in that. Here's the thing about pumpkin. Pumpkin is not, this is obvious what I'm going to say. Pumpkin is not berry. Pumpkin is not citrus. Pumpkin has this depth of flavor. It's right there with vanilla. You know how the flavor of vanilla does not go with everything.
No.
And so that's why some of these things just feel like wrong to me. Like a berry could have been good. A citrus could have been good. But you go to pumpkin, goes into that vanilla weird place, and I can't have it.
Well, I think what's really interesting about pumpkin is by its nature, a savory vegetable.
Right,
like when you actually cook pumpkin, you cook it in soups or you cook it down and you can make a mash out of it like you could with a squash. But
you can add lots of sugar and make a pie.
Sure, but in order for pumpkin to truly be a dessert, you have to load it with sugar. Load it with sugar, which is why so much of what we've talked about is all sugar-related products, right? So the idea... And you and I just know food because we love food, but the idea that it would be no different if somebody said, "Would you like a butternut squash flavored cookie?"
Exactly. That sounds terrible.
Like, no, because all I think of butternut squash is savory, 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 and that's the same with pumpkin.
Well, and when they say spice, I know they're saying spice, but what they really mean is spice with a crap load of sugar. That's really
1,000%. Yeah. It's pumpkin sugar. Would you eat this pumpkin sugar waffle? Yes.
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly. Of course. And when you say it that way, then it's like, oh, well, yeah, I could do that, right?
Sign me up. Now that we've tackled the hard-hitting seasonal subject matters, let's get into Deb's business segment. Deb, we're halfway through the 5-part series as we're staring down the barrel of our fears and our anxieties
Yes.
in this third installment of how an individual can manage themselves in the workplace. Light it up, Deb. Hit us with the good stuff.
So one of the things we've talked about in the past are people's kind of, I'm going to say, natural gifts and talents. People that I'm going to say, I'll describe them in two groups. One are really front facing. They love the customer. They get energy from that. They love working in groups. They love collaboration. There's a lot of, I'm going to say, talking, throwing out of ideas, a lot of self-expression, those kinds of people, right? Then the other kinds of people are the people where what I've just described is sort of like exhausting for them. They want to be able to have a quiet space to work. They want to be, it's not that they don't want to be around people, but they want to manage that into their time. They see projects as something to really concentrate on and kind of dig down in that deep wormhole, if you will.
Kind of some solitude.
And they actually get energized by, I would say, like the finishing of the project or whatever it is, okay?
The opposite of you and I.
The opposite of you and I, exactly. So what ends up happening is, and this is why we need both of those kinds of people to make a team. What ends up happening is and it's probably introvert and extrovert, a lot of what it's, driven from. But what happens is we will get thrown in the business world, as in life, into an arena that we're uncomfortable with. So there will be a project at some point that you and I will have to do that's going to take a lot of time, a lot of solitude, and we just have to hunker down and knock it out, whether we're actually enjoying it or not, okay? That's a little bit easier, meaning as long as we meet the timeline, nobody really cares how we do it, and as long as it's a quality product, right? And any discomfort we feel, actually, when we walk into that place, is fairly private, if that makes sense, because we're working on the project, and I'm going to say, all alone or whatever.
It's like my friend, I had a friend when I was in college, he was a computer coder, and he, unbeknownst to himself, would lock himself away in his room for days. And he would just be working, pounding the keys. He would have a couple beverages next to him. He would go to the bathroom, but he would forget about time completely.
Right.
And he could spend up to 72 hours in solitude with no human contact, just working. And then until somebody knocked on his door and drug him out of the room, would he realize, oh, I haven't showered. I haven't talked to anybody. I haven't answered my phone, because he was so engrossed in his work, because being by himself, the solitude of his brain and the screen was all he needed to function properly.
And so you take somebody like you and I, you do that with us, and you tell us that's the goal. And, in an hour, we're stark raving mad.
Oh, I've already lost my mind having this conversation.
Okay. So on the flip side, that person you're talking about, that person is also going to have to do things out of their comfort zone. And I'm just using this for an example of where it could go awry. But let's say that there was a group project that we worked on. The extroverts did their part, the introverts did their part, and the introvert knew a piece of it better than anybody else. They were the expert. And so everybody wanted them to own that part of the presentation and to get up and speak. Now, when we're talking about different personality types and the way people like to work differently, we really try to give people the work that they excel at, right? So if I'm that person, I might be going, public speaking, not me, not my thing, not going to do it. Don't make me. I never signed up for that. But yet that person really is the expert and can be the one that can really answer all the questions. So what do we do? For that person, we know, we can just feel the anxiety, right? Do we push them into a place where we want them to perform in an area that they're highly uncomfortable? So my answer to that is yes. Not all the time, but every once in a while we do. Just like you and I have to go lock ourselves in a room every once in a while and get uncomfortable and finish projects. So one of the things that I think with that kind of fear and anxiety, when we're really asking somebody to step out of their, I'm just going to say naturalness, who they are, then it, to me, like that person needs to speak up and say, like, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to break out in hives. You have no idea. So that the support of the team can insulate them, number one, and really like have some people there with them to help catch the ball.
Are you saying to kind of personalize it as opposed to saying, hey, this was not part of my directives on the job that I applied for?
I just think the person has to say, sometimes you have to do work that you don't want to do. And sometimes it's really visible and sometimes it's not. So either way, I mean, if I'm going to say to you, hey, I'm going to take 2 days, I'm going to stay home, I'm going to lock myself in my house, and I'm going to finish this project, right? I'm talking to you about it. I might not have a fear and or anxiety with it, but I certainly have a dread, okay?
Yep.
I don't want to do it, but this is the way it's going to get done. You know, that's a little easier to talk about, but I'm going to explain to my boss, this is how it needs to be. I'll see you in 2. It'll all be perfect.
Yep.
This other person that we're asking to step out of their, natural self it's in the public eye to some degree, right? So should we have them do it? My answer is yes, because here's the thing. It's just like when we were little kids. You don't know until you try, for sure, okay? And I think that some of these people, and fear of public speaking is a huge thing, some of these people just are like, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. I think they can do it, but I think they need to do it, I'm going to say, with different props and support so that they can get through it and feel like they did a good job, because that's the thing. We don't want them to just get through it. We want them to feel like they did a good job.
Yep.
But it is really important for them to express to all of us, no matter how irrational they think it is, what their fears and anxieties about it are, because that's when we get to build that kind of protective wall around them in case this goes wrong. Like, when I speak, I'm notorious for never using PowerPoints because I find them horribly distracting. Mm-hmm. And I will actually just turn to the PowerPoint, forget what I'm going to say, read the PowerPoint, and then it's like, I don't know where I am anymore. Yeah. Okay?
It's more distracting for Deb, she means, not anybody else.
Oh, only for me. Yeah. I'm not judging the world that uses PowerPoints. Maybe a little, but I mean, for me, for sure. This kind of person that might really need the PowerPoint because that keeps them tracking, with what's going on, right? That might be one of the things we do that we says, hey, we're going to kind of insulate you. The other part is keeping their time in the spotlight to a minimum,
yep.
Whatever that looks like. And then the other part is maybe having a couple other people out there with them so that if they do get into an arena that gets a little, fishy, sticky, weird, that person can also pop up and add to the conversation.
That's exactly what I conjured in my head was getting somebody from, I don't know, the sales team or who's just really comfortable with public speaking, having the man or woman who's done the legwork for this project, just giving them the nuts and bolts to start the conversation, to address some of the topics, and then follow-up questions, or if there's some more detail that needs to go into, having the individual who put the presentation together be able to explain that a little further so that they know that there's help with them, right? And they're not having to concentrate on carrying the entire presentation, but they can talk about the thing that they're probably more comfortable with, which is the numbers or the granularity of it, and then ping that conversation back to the individual who's more comfortable talking.
100%. So that's an example of kind of fears and anxieties where it's pretty, I'm going to say, easy to express them because it's kind of in a group, in a collaborative, arena, in a more public forum. The other fears and anxieties are the things that just reside quietly within us, that we're asked to do something maybe at work where we're like, I can never, like, not in a million years. Do you know what I mean? Like, or the kind of thing where somebody is giving you a deadline that's unrealistic, or you don't think you're equipped to do it, or you think it's a bad idea. And so you start building your own fears and anxieties out of that. What's really, really hard is we know that that's crazy making in our own heads. One of the things that I really encourage people to do when they have those ideas about projects or work or something they may or may not know, we've mentioned before that thing that you should have learned and you just for some reason didn't, it never stuck with you. One of the things that you have to do is be able to talk it out, because if you get it out of your head, it's going to seem much, much smaller. Maybe the people at work are not the people to talk it out with. I mean, they may not be, I'm just going to say, the safest to, be that emotionally vulnerable with, but then talk about it with somebody else. I mean, talk about it with a friend. I mean, friends will often, because they're not in the center of our work situation, give us incredible advice because they're looking at it like, not a big deal.
Sure.
Like, if it's not a big deal, this is how I would approach it, right? Sometimes, though, you do have to go back. Your friend may not be able to teach you that thing, right, that you thought you were supposed to learn.
Yeah, tough to teach you public speaking.
Tough to teach you public speaking. So then you have to go back, I'd say, to your trusted work friends and trusted work bosses. Trusted is on there because if they're not trustworthy, then be very careful. But really just say, like, I'm having anxiety about this project because. And I think when you get it out, one of the things that starts happening is you hear yourself say it. And I think your mind clicks in and starts talking back to you. Just because you've said it out loud, I think all of a sudden you start hearing some of the resolutions to the problem. Now you've said it out loud to somebody else. They start throwing at, it's kind of like everybody starts throwing pasta on the wall to try to figure it out. And then it doesn't seem as big of a deal as it was when you first started out.
Yeah, because it's a team effort and everybody's got different eyes and different opinions, and you're so caught in the weeds that you can't see the forest for the trees, and you need those extra eyes and people who are totally impartial and who don't ultimately care about the end result to look at you and say, oh my God, buddy, you have overthought this to the likes of which you can never return. Bring it over here. Let's put a flow chart together. Let's just have a conversation, or let's just, what's your end goal as it relates to this project or this conversation? We can summarize it beautifully for you. And now you can get your head above water and take this thing that you thought was this Herculean effort and realize it's a 5-minute conversation, or it's an easy presentation. It's not going to last more than 15 minutes, or let me attach myself to it and lighten your load a little bit.
That's exactly right. Once we get it out of our mouths, it becomes smaller than it is in our head. Once we express to somebody that we need some help with it, most people are happy to jump in and kind of talk us off the, crazy cliff we've put ourselves on, right? And then you can really start problem solving it. But when it's all internal and when it's about you at your essence, because this isn't about the actual work. This is about your own abilities.
Oh, yeah.
And we start this negative refrain that plays over and over until it's a well-worn path in our heads.
Yeah, I would say it's not even about your abilities. It's about your fears and anxieties.
Exactly.
And those things are driving the bus at that point. And now you're your own worst enemy.
100%. So find yourself a therapist, not a real one necessarily, maybe a real one. Or maybe, but find yourself a therapist, meaning that person that can help talk you off the ledge, give you the advice you need, work with them. I mean, really to be able to come back again and again and bounce it off until you have, here's not what you're trying to do. You're not trying to solve the project. You're trying to calm the fear. Mm-hmm. You're trying to take the anxiety and push it down a few levels, because then you're able to function. You're able to get your hands into the work and then start the thing. So our greatest personal advice has been, when things go awry and you start saying wild and crazy things to yourself in your head, talk it out, right? Same with work. You're in charge of yourself. Nobody can ride that bull for you. You've got to take your own bull by the horns, wrestle it to the ground, and start doing it and advocate for yourself.
Couldn't agree more. Apply that to your professional life, apply that to your personal life, and that's a Deb Z guarantee that things will start being better.
They will.
They will.
They will. They will.
Part 4 next week. Part 5 the week after that. How many parts of the new saga that come the week after that? Who even knows? It's going to be a 12-parter. Like I said at the beginning of the show, this is slowly, quickly, if not already, becoming my favorite segment that we do. Because I give you the clear mandate, which is only this. Deb, go find some videos on the internet.
Yeah.
And what you come back with never ceases to amaze / enlighten me.
We have talked before about this. I somehow perceive this as competition.
Bizarre to me.
Which is so bizarre to you. And yet I do feel like, 10-year-old Debbie has shown up.
Bizarre to me.
I'm in school.
Literally, the brief is go find 3 videos on the internet. That's it. And she's telling you that she has anxiety. And I know we just talked about fears.
I'm talking about it though.
Yeah.
I'm talking about it.
I think most people would be like, yeah, a 30-minute presentation in front of your CEO about how we can grow the company can be fear-inducing. Finding 3 videos, one of which can just be somebody stepping on a shovel and hitting their nuts, that shouldn't cause
Here's what it is
any
for me.
anxiety.
Here's what it is for me. Do you want to know the truth?
Okay.
Okay. This is 5th grade show and tell.
It's not. It's the internet.
This is what I brought to show and tell.
Oh, that's not showing up on video as much as you'd like it to.
Okay. I brought this for show and tell.
Okay. It's a light ring.
It's a light ring for your phone. Okay. That's what I brought.
Wait, hold on. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Please, God, tell me this is one of your things for Good Job Internet.
This?
Yeah.
No, should it be?
No, but why are we talking about it then?
Well, because what I'm saying is if it's show and tell, it's like I brought that to show and tell, and then you walked in with a freaking puppy. That's how I feel.
Oh, I swear to God, I thought you were going to say, Good Job Internet, look at my IRL ring light.
Oh my God. But it is kind of clever, don't you think?
I mean,
to just put it on your
It's a ring
phone.
light.
It's a ring
I
light.
think we've all seen them before.
Have you seen one for your phone?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, well, okay, fine.
Yes, I exist in the real world. I've seen them
right.
on the internet. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
Okay, well, there were some rules this week for me. I put rules in for myself. So
You're the one who overcomplicates this thing.
I do. So right now I'm very upset with the news.
Sure,
And
of course.
This week we've had some family information about Dad's medical situation, which has upset me.
Okay.
It was not what I wanted. And so I'm in this thing where I can only see positive things.
Deb, the segment is called Good
Okay.
Job Internet,
So-
not just what did you find on the internet.
No,
You're
no, no,
supposed to
no.
find the good stuff.
No. But only things that can make me happy, or only things
It's
that
called
can
Good
look-
Job. the graphic is a thumbs up for the segment.
Stop it.
You shouldn't be like,
Okay.
oh my, I got into the deep web and I saw a lot of beheadings. Do you want me to explain the video to you?
So, this one person that I'm going to talk about
Okay.
but then there are a myriad of people, and you should find them all and follow them all.
Okay.
So I don't know his real name, but it's called It's Slavic.
It's Slavic.
It's Slavic.
That's a great name for a segment if we ever
Slavik.
go to Eastern European countries.
So it's Slavic.
It's Slavic to me.
This guy is the best dancer ever.
Okay.
Now he does dance to a lot of like music I don't care about, like that would have been referred to in the first
Kanye West and Drake.
cold open music. But he also does like, I don't know, Earth, Wind and Fire, Michael Jackson, a lot of other stuff. He has an assortment of people he dances with. I cannot watch him and not have the biggest smile on my face. He brings internal joy. He makes my heart sing, he and all of his people. Well, there's also one called It's Miranda Derrick. It's
Okay.
Miranda Derrick. Derrick.
I just Googled It's Slavic. This guy looks like a TikTok dancer. Like that's what he looks like. So he's got the.
Don't make me.
No,
feel
I'm
bad.
just
Okay.
I'm just saying this. He's very youthful. He wears tight fitting clothes. A lot of pictures are missing a shirt or a shirt
course,
that's
yeah,
open.
yeah.
He does have a face of somebody born in the Eastern Bloc of Europe. And he dances with a lot of African American gentlemen, which I love.
Well, and he also dances a lot with Miranda Derrick. Okay. This particular girl. I love her. I love the way her hair swings. I love her facial expressions. She also, if you look at her up close, looks a little Slavic. I'm just going to say.
Got it.
She may or may not be. So It's Miranda put one out this week that made my heart sing.
Okay.
It was her and one of the Afro-American guys who I don't know.
Okay.
And it was Earth, Wind and Fire, September.
Got it.
So, and I love September.
Got it.
So these guys, every time I look on them, they make me happy. Some of my friends follow them. I didn't know that. So then I see my friends liking their stuff. It's just pure joy for me. Okay.
If you want to, I'm talking to you, nobody else.
Yeah.
Deb, if you want to book It's Slavic, just Google him at mgmt@7mfilms.com.
I probably can't afford it.
I don't know.
You never know. And then that's my first.
Your first is
It's Slavic. And
is your first It's Slavic or is it your first the Miranda video?
oh gosh, I have to.
My favorite thing. We're just going off the tracks already.
We're gonna go. It's Miranda Derrick with the Earth, Wind and Fire video.
Got it.
But I want to say You also need to follow It's Slavic.
Okay.
It will make you happy.
Got it. I think one of the things that has been taking the nation by storm, if you have any social media presence,
here we go,
is the milk crate challenge. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Have you seen this? I didn't even know that milk crates still exist. I didn't know. I just assumed by now we had found a new way to transport milk. Little do I know that milk crates, little plastic, 12 by 12 flimsy crates, still exist.
Because milk is heavy. Milk is heavy, Kevin.
That makes sense to me.
It can't go in a box.
And because the internet is undefeated in hurting people, people have taken these milk crates and they stack them. So it looks like a little tower. So there's 1, then there's 2, then there's 3, then there's 4, then there's 5. And then it descends down from, 5, 4, whatever it is. People have filmed themselves trying to walk across these milk crates. Nobody, as far as I'm concerned, ever in the world has successfully navigated the milk crate challenge, whether you go slow, whether you go fast, whether you're methodical, whether you're tactical. Everybody, every single person in the history of the United States and the world who has tried the milk crate challenge has ended up as a quadriplegic. The falls that these people have, whether they're short or whether on the short end or the tall end of the milk crate challenge, are so bad. They're spine shattering, neck cracking. And the best part is somebody somewhere is like, okay, I want to see if we can do this. I just think it was a couple people messing around. And now you see it in parks and you see hundreds of people surrounding this milk crate pyramid where people are desperately trying to get from one end to the other without becoming an internet meme. And nobody has ever done it as far as I'm concerned. You can show me videos of people doing it and I will call BS on that. No way.
Do you think they're not able to do it because of the way they've stacked them?
I think they're stacked as well as humanly possible. It's flimsy plastic that, at its highest point is probably 6 or 7 feet off the ground that's on grass, which is not even by any stretch.
Right.
And how many times have these crates actually been used to carry very heavy product?
Right.
They're not perfectly sitting on each other either. It's why the internet should be here for things exactly like this, because you watch it and then you can just go down the rabbit hole of hashtag milk crate challenges. It's amazing. I love it. But that's not my first one.
Okay.
My first one comes...
What was that? Like some intro?
Deb, you took us to Slavic land and then somebody else completely was your favorite video. My first one comes from Henrico County in Virginia. It's a school board meeting.
Okay.
Clearly, they're all debating whether or not they should wear masks.
Ugh.
So they have a roll call of the people who are going to come and speak. The video starts with an older white woman saying why she doesn't think masks should be mandated in Virginia. They thank her for her time, and then they start calling up people. Tell me when you get what's happening.
Okay.
Very cool, debonair black gentleman at the school board panel reading off names. Okay, next up we have Phil McCracken. Phil McCracken. Nobody comes up. I think these next two are couples. Suk Madik, and Luke Madik. Luke Madik.
I got it.
Neither of the couple shows up. Ophelia McCock.
Oh my God.
Ophelia McCock.
No.
Ophelia's not there.
Oh,
I leaned over. Eileen, she's not there. Donkey Dick? Is there a Don Key Dick here? Don Key Dick? Nope. And then Wanker. Is there a Wanker here? He read them all out loud. And it turns out a bunch of kids just signed up with fake names that you would have found on The Simpsons in the early 90s. Right. And the guy, I don't know if he knew what he was doing or if he's just like, when there's a name on the roll sheet, you have to say it. He said all of those names. The minutes were counted. That will now be a part of the county record of the school board meeting. It's fantastic.
Did he ever get it?
I don't think so. He didn't let on that he knew it.
Oh my gosh.
He read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 names in a row that were clearly not real names. It's fantastic. It's a minute long. I did exactly what he did, but it's even cooler because he did it in real life and nobody ever showed up to the podium.
Love it. Love it.
You're
That's a good one. Okay, so this is an older one. I know it's been around for a while, but again, These are things that make me laugh.
Got it.
Okay. I don't know.
Do you guys know the artist Bruno Mars? So let me tell you about this.
These are things. The only requirement now is that if it makes me laugh, it makes me happy, makes my heart.
Deb's not even trying to find new stuff. She's just going back to the old, makes her feel good.
What is the thing? I don't know what it's called. So it's the deal where you'll have three really. Stop.
I know I'm going to talk about this one subject. I don't really know what it's called. But Kevin, tell me, what's the thing called?
Stop. Stop it now. You've got to stop. Oh my God. I'm going to pee my pants.
Continue.
Okay. So it's usually three really good looking people, two guys and a girl.
Okay.
And they're super fit. And they usually have on.
Getting into a weird part of the internet here, Deb.
Yeah, like on gym clothes. Okay. They all get down on their hands and knees like all fours.
Okay.
Staring at the camera. Are you with me? Okay.
Sure.
Hands and then.
Human centipede?
No.
Okay.
They're like side by side. Okay.
Got it.
Then the girl takes her hands one at a time.
Deb.
And puts them on her chest.
Okay. PG. This is a PG podcast.
Okay. The girl takes her arms one at a time off the floor. She's still in that position of all fours.
Okay.
Then she takes her arms and then she just.
Well, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So then the guys do it and the guys fall flat on their face. Men cannot do this thing. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. So picture.
Oh, no, I'm picturing it. And what you're describing defies gravity.
But girls can do it and guys can't.
So they're like on all fours like dogs.
Kind of. I was avoiding that.
And then the woman, without moving,
she takes
leaning back on her heels.
Nope. Yep, exactly.
Just takes her hands off the ground.
Takes her hands off the ground and kind of like usually she like it would look like she's embracing herself, putting her hands there. And she can just hang there. The guys do it and fall flat on their face.
I've never heard of it. Never seen it. I don't know what type of niche that falls under, but no, I haven't seen it.
It makes me happy. It is the best. And I mean, like every guy falls on his face and every girl can do it. It's amazing.
Fantastic. Men hurting themselves.
Yes.
Deb's second favorite video.
Exactly.
My second favorite video of the internet comes from America Samoa. The Honorable Carmel Supelin was being interviewed on Zoom by Radio Samoa. And it's like every video you've ever seen. It's a down angle looking up at her. She's probably in her bedroom or her office. Like it's kind of fuzzy. It's not well lit, but she's having a conversation with somebody about the politics of America Samoa. Very quickly within the video, you see the door open and her son walks in. And this kid's got to be like 10.
Yeah.
And he has the biggest Cheshire cat smile on his face. Like, you know, upon his entrance into the video, it's going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's looking at his mom. His mom turns around to address the fact that the door just opened, which I'm sure she said 10 minutes prior. Mommy's going to go have an interview. Don't come in here. Kid does not care. He's got his hand behind his back and he pulls out a carrot. And the carrot is the most phallic looking carrot that you've ever seen. And he just like holds it up to his mom. His mom doesn't really understand what's happening. And he just starts laughing. Like he is me at 10 years old. If you had video interviews, I would have walked in with the big eating grin on my face with the phallic carrot behind me and just showed it to you. And then he like looks at the camera and like he knows exactly what he was doing. And then his mom obviously ushers him out and tries to regain her composure.
Did she laugh?
Of course she laughed. Trying to kind of be somewhat serious about, I'm sure they're talking about like, I don't know, the economy in America Samoa. It was fantastic. It was just like knowing what the kid knew he was doing and then having his mother not like just beat him to death in front of a live audience. It was great.
I love it. I love it.
Do you have another one? Or you only have two? Got it.
I have one more. So this one is called Along Came Abby.
Oh, okay.
And Abby is, I think when they started doing this, Abby was maybe three years old. She is like this darling, chubby little girl. I'm chubby in a good little kid kind of way, curly hair. Her mother is British. Her father's American. Abby, I think, has 5 older brothers and sisters, meaning the youngest one, I think, is in college.
Wow.
And then along came Abby.
Along came little Abs.
There goes this, So when you see the mom or dad, and you don't see them very often, the mom or dad, it doesn't look like, oh my God, they're so old they couldn't have her. That's not the deal. But Abby is hysterical. And a lot of the things are, there's a lot of just normal pictures, but a lot of the things are the mom or the dad interviewing Abby. And this kid has a crazy imagination. So she will just go, like the dad will start asking her questions, and she will just like start telling some crazy fabricated story. I'm a little worried that Abby's going to turn into a big fat liar as she gets older, but she is adorable.
Okay.
So one of the ones that, there's a couple, what are my favorites? There's a couple lately that I really like where the dad says something to her about, so I heard you got into some poison. And she goes, some poison candy. And very seriously, she explains the whole thing to him.
Yeah.
And she explains it to him as if he's an interviewer, not her dad.
Interesting.
And it's wild. And she says that her dad gave her poison candy that made her fro up, right?
Fro up,
yep. And the dad says, oh, he sounds dreadful. And she looks at him and she goes, dreadful? Yes, he's dreadful.
Yeah.
This kid is so good. As it turns out, the mother felt compelled to put in the comments, Abby was not given poison candy. Abby was giving a children's...
That's something a mom would say whose husband gives out poison candy.
A children's flavored Tylenol or whatever it was, yep. Right? And then Abby was talking about the reason she ate the poison candy is because dinner was disgusting. He expected me to eat disgusting food, which I think Abby wasn't feeling good, but this is in the mind of this little kid. Anyways, she's adorable. One of the other, I think they live in upstate New York. You can tell the older siblings when they're around just find her delightful. But every once in a while on one of the Instagrams, a Gordon College t-shirt appears. Abby's wearing one that's oversized, or one of the siblings or the dad is wearing a Gordon College shirt, which of course makes me think of you.
Yep.
And I just think they are, it's adorable.
I wonder if it's my Gordon College or the one down in Georgia.
I feel like it's your Gordon College. I feel like it's your font and I feel like it's your Gordon College. Yeah.
Thanks, Anyways, Abby and the family.
Watch Along Came Abby, and it will lift your spirits. And today and for the near future, that's all I'm watching. No beheadings, no negative news.
Mine is a good one to end on as well. It's a video of an elderly couple in a senior living center. The gentleman's in a wheelchair and his wife is still ambulatory. And a girl in full military fatigues comes walking in with her mask on. 12 years ago, a kid wrote this World War II vet, the husband in the chair, a letter thanking him for his service and saying how much of an inspiration he was to her at 9 years old.
Oh.
The girl coming in the military fatigues is the 9-year-old who wrote the letter.
Oh, you're going to make me cry. No, seriously. I told you earlier today, do not be too nice. Do not be too kind. Seriously, this is killing me.
The guy...
I can't listen to the military stuff. Seriously.
The guy wrote her a letter back, which she kept for 12 years, only to come find them at the senior living center to say, I've kept this with me. This was the thing that I used when I got through the military. And I thought to myself, if somebody like you can do this, then somebody like me can do this. And then they were able to sit together and have a nice lunch and talk. And isn't that crazy?
Why does it make me cry?
Because it's a tear-worthy video. It's so sweet. It's so sincere. The wife shoots out of her chair when she connects the dots.
Yeah.
The guy who's in a wheelchair stands up to like address her because she's in her full fatigues, right?
Right.
And he says, "Stop! I'm gonna cry." Does the exact same thing you do. Everybody is in tears when it's all said and done. It is a very, very high thumbs up. Good job, Internet.
I love that.
Do we need a minute here?
There are no Kleenex on the desk. There's 1,000 things on the desk and no Kleenex. Just going to pray that these go back in my eyes and not down my face.
Suck them back in.
There we go. Okay.
It's great. It was all the other stuff is funny. It's just one of those things where you need humanity to show you some kindness, and it did. And it's not lost on me that it's a white couple and a black girl, and the connection that they never knew they had, but they came to fruition 12 years later was amazing.
I love that. That letter could have so easily gotten tossed.
Yep.
The fact that it meant so much to her and she cared for it. I just love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Can we finish this
I don't know if I can
podcast?
be grateful.
I think Deb can absolutely do it. I can start first. Deb, I will do my thankful this week. Then you can do your thankfuls, which may or may not also bring you to tears. My thankful is I have friends who got engaged this week. My friends Ashley and Connor got engaged. They've been dating for, I think we were trying to do the math, like 5 years or something to that effect. And she hasn't been desperately waiting to get engaged, but she has been eagerly awaiting to get engaged. And Connor has slow played the thing to the likes of which it's just become a fun joke for everybody to constantly elbow him with comments of, hey, at this birthday party, do you think Connor's going to get engaged? Hey, at this beach trip, do you think Connor's going to propose? And finally he did, and everybody's super duper excited. So it's another wedding that I get to add to my upcoming schedule whenever they decide to get married.
So that's you're grateful?
I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful for their happiness. It was fun to see two people madly in love with each other.
So I recently had a trip to back east and worked with a group. If you're in the Lancaster, Pennsylvania area, they're called A&E Audiology.
Shout out my Amish gang.
Okay. They're not Amish.
Well, they're not, but the Amish exist
Okay,
out there,
exactly.
Right? Gang Amish.
So often when I go on trips and visit businesses, sometimes there's like not so comfortable things we talk about, right?
Okay.
And so it could be that some people, I feel like I leave and he or she isn't my big fan. Do you mean, depending on whatever we've talked about?
Shocker.
This was an extraordinary visit as far as I was concerned. We had a morning session with the managers. We had an afternoon session with the entire staff. They were lovely. They were engaged. They were funny. They were delightful. I can't say enough good things about them. I want to give a shout out especially to the owner and her son, Kamal and Eric, who do a fantastic job with this team. And this particular visit just was like, this is why I do what I do, because all of the stars aligned, all of the good stuff came together. And, it was one of those, I would say, perfect trips.
Yep. I've had the privilege of meeting both of those people. You are correct in saying that they are great people to be around. They are super fun. They are super interesting, crazy smart. I love being around people that I know are smarter than me because I know I'm going to learn something from them. And I'm now adding it to my list that I get to go to Lancaster, Pennsylvania and eat some Hershey's chocolate and whittle some wood with some Amish people.
So
that's on my
Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Here's a little thing. In Lancaster, I think itself, or it might be Lidditz, I'm not sure. The chocolate company there is called Wilbur Chocolates. And Wilbur, I think, had the original Hershey recipe.
Oh.
So
that Hershey murdered Wilbur for.
Something happened there. But the Wilbur chocolates are delicious, and I was also gifted some of those. So thank you again. But go to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, because I want to tell you, it is one of the most beautiful areas of the country. You're in little villages, in little cities, which probably aren't actually Lancaster. And then you're in these rolling, beautiful farming hills. It is gorgeous there. Absolutely gorgeous.
I know you have one more thankful.
Well, we're thankful that Daddy was born.
True. It's his birthday on Tuesday.
On Tuesday. So Daddy was born on Labor Day. The year he was born, it was Labor Day, literally Labor Day.
For his mom, literally Labor Day.
For his mom, literally Labor Day. And he likes to tell people that, but it only matters every few years because this is one of the years.
Right. It's not a leap year.
Yeah,
just a Labor Day.
Exactly. It's just Labor Day.
Every 7 years.
But it is his birthday. And so for 1 week, he will be older than I am, and I will torment him for the entire week.
Yeah.
It will not stop. Okay. So for 1 week, he's older. I think we're really happy to be celebrating this birthday. And, happiest birthday to the guy that we love so much.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday.
Deb, what's for dinner? Okay, I'll answer that. I was looking at casserole dishes the other day. Because
I feel like this is Midwest question.
I decided I wanted to look at casserole dishes the other day, and I saw a recipe that felt like a Sandra Lee semi-homemade meal. Remember Sandra Lee?
I do. She dated Governor Cuomo for a while. Yeah. I bet she's glad she got out of that relationship.
Not great topic.
Yeah.
And it's this, I think what it is, in essence, what I think it is, it's a shepherd's pie. Okay, it's like a shepherd's pie mix with ground beef and corn and carrots and onions. And then they say to add a gravy to it. We can't make a gravy because we're gluten-free, but I think we can add some cornstarch with some chicken broth to kind of thicken it up, right?
We can do the base of a shepherd pie pretty well.
But the kicker is, and this is where the semi part comes in.
This is the part to worry about.
Shepherd's pie is traditionally made with a top of mashed potatoes, which then you put on top of the mix that I just described and shove it into the oven and you bake it a little bit and you serve it. They call for tater tots. So I'm going to make this dish and then align the top with tater tots.
Are we serving it with a Jell-O mold on the side?
Sure. And some Fanta.
And some Fanta.
Mr. Pibb RC
Fanta
Cola.
Pop.
Yeah,
Fanta
pop.
Yep.
I saw it. It looked good to me. It adds, it calls for some like ranch seasoning in the mix. So that's probably what really sold me on it. And we'll give it a go. We'll see if it's good or not.
Okay, we'll see.
I'm going to give you a break.
It's definitely the thing about, and I do love regular shepherd's pie. The thing about regular shepherd's pie, there is this consistent texture all the way through. So now you're really changing up the texture on top.
Well, because the flour, the gravy element helps bind it so that when it's not just soup underneath, but because we don't have that, you can use cornstarch to bind things, but sometimes too much cornstarch thing actually does become gelatinous. So it's finding the sweet spot within that, but I think it'll be good. And if nothing else, it's a bunch of potatoes and meat. Who's not going to eat that?
Who's not going to eat that? Well, ask me about it next week and I'll give you a review.
Bet.
Okay.
Anything else, Deb? We have tackled a ton of topics today. I was excited for this episode. I was excited for the cold open because there's nothing I enjoy more than talking about rap with you.
Well, we've gone from rap to
pumpkin
laughing our
spice
guts out where I almost pee my pants.
Yep.
To taking me to a military thing that just the description of it
Yep.
made me sob, though I will admit I'm kind of on the verge lately all the time. And being nice is like the worst.
You can tell it's a good Deb and Kev episode when liquid is coming out both sides. That's when you know it's a good Deb and Kev episode. And on that note, that's going to do it for this Monday's episode of the Deb and Kev podcast. Remember to like, rate, and review wherever you listen to this podcast. We genuinely appreciate it. We have a bunch of new listeners. And if you guys would do us the solid of giving us 5 stars and saying how much you enjoy us, even if you don't, it would make our hearts sing. And then you can follow us on all of our social channels at Deb and Kev Pod. And if you want to see Deb pee her pants / cry her face, you can watch this episode on our YouTube channel at Deb and Kev Pod. Maybe for the part where you start crying, I'll just put an emoji over your face.
Okay, that would be sweet.
Got it.
I did not actually pee my pants.
We'll find out in about 10 seconds. Mom, I love you to death.
I love you, baby.
We'll see you guys on Thursday.
Thank you for listening to the Deb and Kev podcast. Remember to like and subscribe wherever you listen to this podcast. Follow Deb and Kev on Facebook and on Instagram and Twitter at Deb and Kev Pod.